All right, St. Louis. I'm going to take my time, St. Louis. I might go a little here, a little there, a little everywhere, but I'm going to take my time. There's so much that we need to talk about, St. Louis. I'm going to go as the Spirit lead me, St. Louis. The reason being is because we, unfortunately, have not been following the truth. So go ahead and grab a seat, grab you some of that old pumpkin pie, and just enjoy. St. Louis, it's not often that we stay in such turmoil for so long, but if you never knew you were in turmoil, you're not going to know there is a place that you must go to leave it, unfortunately. If you take a moment, St. Louis, and think about the beginning of the universe, which they claim it to be 13.8 billion years old. They also claim there are roughly 8 planets. We live on the Earth, which is the number 3 planet, and the most distant planet is Neptune. I'm one to believe that there's a lot that we have not yet been able to understand, and the reason we have not the ability to understand is because we lack the intelligence to understand. There's roughly billions of miles of a radius that we have no access to. And what that in turn tells me is that we unfortunately have been following darkness because we hadn't reached the level of completion to know that there was more to know. So as a result, we were deceived. It doesn't feel like deception because you were never exposed to what you need to know in order to be able to confirm that it was deception. However, for those of us that have reached a higher level of cognition and or awareness, we have the ability to see beyond the veil. So as a result, we pretty much understand what the future holds, and not necessarily the future that leads to the grave, but I'm talking about traveling back into the future, which is the beginning of space and time. We followed Copernicus, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. We followed them all, Galileo. But yet, they too were blind. And the reason they were blind is because they too didn't know. And we're still following the same traditions of what they brought forth. We also followed Isaac Newton with Newtonian law. Also, we followed Einstein and so many others. But if you really think about the distance in which we've traveled, we haven't traveled that far. Einstein died in the middle of 1900s. Isaac Newton died in the 1700s. So that tells me that's roughly 300 years or a little more from now. But yet the universe is 13.8 billion years old, and we're only looking at thousands. So I'm one to believe that what has happened, St. Louis, is that we established religion in the place in which we dwelled because we needed some hope. And as a result of establishing religion, we believed there was hope after this life. But what we failed to realize is that we had to reach a higher level of cognition, awareness. We have a prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, and amygdala. And if we could strengthen that at the molecular subatomic level, we can warp space and time. In other words, we can literally fuse at the atto 1/1000000000 of a second and be able to see the world as it truly is. But unfortunately, by giving us a life expectancy of only 70 to 90 years, and even if you reach 90, you still are dying because your cells are mutating because you never possessed the power to exceed beyond the mutation. So as a result, we've been more so caught up into so many different viruses, wars, rumors of wars, and the reason I believe this is taking place is because the mind itself is so undeveloped. The mind is so powerful. It's so powerful, but the mind can't stay contained within 1,000 years because it turns on itself. The mind has to literally contract inward and become the Big Bang, the singularity, the black hole. The mind must tunnel or go through the wormhole and literally attach itself at the micro and be able to see the world as it truly is, but confined into such a small place. Cause that mind to hallucinate. Cause that mind to literally deal with probabilities such as quantum physics. You really don't know what the answer is going to be because there's so many possibilities. I'm one to believe that's all deception. We are literally going the wrong way. In other words, you go from 1 to infinity, but you must go from 0, -1, -2, -3. And as a result, you must go to -273.14 Celsius to 459 negative Fahrenheit. And as a result, you will literally be able to remove your grave clothes, meaning the darkness that has suppressed, or the gravity, as they say, that the earth is controlled by the sun, which circles the sun based upon the radius. It takes 365 days one time to circle the sun, but yet Neptune takes 165 years. So that tells me Neptune is so far away from the sun. It circled the sun one time, 165 years, but the earth one time, 365 days, 1 year. What am I saying? St. Louis, Chi-Town, Alabama, Georgia, the Bahamas, New York, Oregon, Florida. What am I saying? I'm saying simply that Neptune and the rest of the planets, and not just the planets themselves, but everything is in your mind. You're encoding it. Your mind is so powerful. Can you imagine trying to control a jet as a child? You're 2 years old trying to fly a jet. Can you imagine? That's how it is right now. You're trying to fly something that you can't control, and as a result, you can't reach the speed in which you need to reach, which is 186,000 miles per second, 300,000 kilometers per hour, which will enable you to leave the earth as we know earth, which is literally a sound. We have been deceived. Religion has killed us. Religion. And the reason I'm saying this, which many of you can't understand nor will you receive, is that your life expectancy is 60 to 90, and so many are dying before they reach 60. And the reason that's taking place is because where you dwell, as they say, on the earth. Number 3, right next to Venus and Mercury, just below Mars. They're saying the carbon emissions, the poison that's on the earth is killing us, causing carcinogenous cancer, causing all kinds of infections. We just got another player coming in from, as they say, Africa. The reason this is happening is because we are in a place in which we're not supposed to be. And that place is literally in our mind. All that you see is being encoded by your mind before you see it. It's no different than someone in a coma. We must begin to go deeper than we have traveled before. And we must become that light in which we're seeking to save us. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in this damn world. The time has come for us to say all or nothing. We must take that mountain by any means necessary. Our grandbabies, children, old, elderly are waiting on us. The time is not tomorrow. The time is today. We must take that mountain. And once we take that mountain, St. Louis, you will hear the words, "Well done, my good and faithful Faithful servant, time is now. The time is now. May God bless you and get you to understand the time is now. God bless. Oh, St. Louis, we got this thing. We're not going to quit. Too much at stake. Too many deaths, St. Louis, too many. It's time. It's time.